Radio merchandise is finally here. Go to soundchatradio.com right now so you can purchase your t-shirts and sweatshirts for children and adults in different color and sizes. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, and leave your comments. And also make sure you press that notification bell so you can be the first to see Wagwan when it drops.
Finally, episode 3, What Killed Soundclash? Shouts to everybody who locked into episode 1, episode 2. I've been reading the comments, crazy comments. Some of you are really on point. Others are challenging my views. But again, it's conversation centered around sound system culture, so that's a great thing. What I do want those of you who are probably viewing it for the first time, or those of you who haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Right? Please subscribe, hit the notification bell so as soon as something drops, you can be the first to see, or among the first to see what the conversation is centered around sound system culture. Right? So you guys know what it is, right? It's my podcast called What Kills Soundclash. Right? And we all got a lot of different views on what kills Soundclash. I'm looking at some of the comments, and based on some of the comments, I'm also getting a lot more ideas of what I can use to elaborate on in further episodes coming, future episodes coming. But I want to zone in on something today that many of you say that I'm guilty of, right? So What Killed Soundclash episode 3, we're gonna call this one Trophies. We're going to call this one Trophies because I did see in some of the comments that, people posted and said, the real thing that killed Soundclash culture is the whole heap of trophy. And man, where, some people are showing videos and their living room is full of trophies and you never see them in a dance yet. You never saw them clash yet, but they have trophies, right? And that is alarming. I can't tell no lie. That is definitely alarming. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about how it happened, why it happened, and the damage that it did. And if I'm guilty of it, again, leave the comments and let me know how you feel about what I'm saying. All right. One thing that I do want to say is that when we do things here at Sound Chat Radio, Irish and Chin, and when we did things in the past, we did them with reasoning. We didn't just feel like we wanted to do things because it was a good idea only, but there was some type of philosophy and reasoning behind it, right? So trophies, cups, however you want to, whatever you want to title it, right? When we started doing our competitions way back when. Now, if you've been following the Irish and Chin legacy, the earlier clashes did not have cups, did not have trophies. So it was just, kill a sound, go home, and that's your props, right? I don't think that trophies started in the Irish and Chin legacy until the World Clash series begun. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what my memory's telling me, right? Now, the main reason why we thought it was a good idea to introduce trophies into sound system culture, consistently introduce trophies into sound systems culture, is because we felt that sound systems needed a reason. They needed a purpose. They needed a reason to compete. They needed bragging rights more than, just the underground, world knowing that they won a clash or they excelled on a big stage or whatever that situation was. So came up with this whole situation of awarding sound systems for their victories. And it was a great thing, because what would World Clash be without the trophy? What would the Grammys be without the award? So you worked all year. You recorded your music if you were an artist, and you're hoping that you can walk up when your name is called and you can collect that Grammy, right? For us, for the last 20 years or so, the World Clash title has been the Grammy of Sound Clash culture. Like it or love it, that's what the situation has been, right? So we decided that, sound systems will be working in the arena all year round, and the best thing to do is to award them with that title trophy. Now, there was a couple of things that we thought of at one time where we would just have one trophy and the sound system would win one year and then have to return to defend it, the same trophy. And if they didn't win, then that same trophy would go on to another sound system, but that didn't work, right? The trophies became so valuable and it became so much part of the bragging right of the victory that sound systems just wouldn't give it back, right? So the whole trophy, buying a trophy every year for the competition, kind of came to life. Now, again, we thought it was a great thing at the time because sound systems were cutting dubs, spending a lot of money that, of course, we couldn't compensate for on, as promoters, promoting the whole world-class situation, right? So we figured that, okay, at least the sound systems are competing at this high level, spending this type of money. So let's give them something that they can look back on and say, okay, I won. I got 3 world titles, I got 4 world titles, I got 1 world title, whatever it is. And for the World Clash series, I believe it worked because we were able to track the victories of a lot of the sound systems. A lot of the sound systems was able to prove their victories based on, the trophies that they collected. Now, somehow it spiraled into us pretty much awarding trophies outside of the World Clash arena for some of our prestigious competitions. And again, the idea at the time, and I know that some of you are, upset about this as time passed. Now that we're in the present, you're saying that, this was a bad choice that I made, right? But under the Irish and Chin title of clashing, we wanted to create trophies of different values. So you would have, a trophy for winning a one-on-one competition. Of course, it's not a world-class trophy, but you still have some type of merit to show that you were part of an Irish and Chin competition and you competed at that level. It's almost like a resume. And this was because what we were trying to do is simply this: legitimize and organize the chaos in the sound system culture. And many of you might say that, you would have rather it stay chaotic. But ask yourself this question: if it was chaotic, would it have made it this far? And I keep pointing this out. The other Sound Clash eras before the World Clash series did not last as long as the World Clash series. So if we want to say that and we did the math the other day, by the way, right? So if we want to say that the DJs performing live on sound systems ended in 89, 90, right? We can just round about there. We can also say that in about 97, 98, it boiled down. It was just not pulling what it was pulling before. Long story short, that decade was about 10 years. Or not the decade, I should say that era was about a decade, which is 10 years. 10 years. And the World Clash series has doubled that. So there are things that we did in the World Clash series that extended the interest of the series and propelled sound system culture to another level. Now, in the organizing of the whole World Clash and the Irish and Chin situation, the trophy thing became our thing. That was our thing. And whether you love it or you like it, it was our thing. Sound systems competed for us, and we gave them some type of acknowledgement if they won, right? And also, like when we were doing the Rumble series, we would also give out plaques. I don't know if you guys remember that, right? Because I believe that as a sound system, and this is just only me, and I'm just explaining, you guys don't have to agree with me because I know some of you feeling that the whole cup thing was my fault. As a sound system, performing in what is known as a league, because I believe that Irish and Chin was a league. We were a league in sound system culture, right? if you play sports and you play for a league, there are tokens of acknowledgement. Our trophies went to the winners. Our plaques went to contenders. So if you were someone who was picked to go to a U.S. Rumble, then we would give you a plaque of acknowledgement that you could look back on years later and say, yo, this is one of my achievements in sound system culture. And that plaque would say, contender for the world title, representing U.S., blah, 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 whatever, the situation would be. But that's what it was all about. It was all about acknowledging sound systems for their efforts and for their accomplishments. Now, I don't know if I should be or could be blamed for other leagues or independent promoters following suit with what we initiated. Because again, I did not make the rules for Sound Clash Culture. I made the rules for my league, the Irish and Chin League, the World Class Series, the Debt Before Dishonor Series, everything that fell under our umbrella. We did not make the rules for what was happening outside of our league. Other promoters saw what we were doing and they saw the success of it, and then they started to mimic it in their own right. And we are where we are now, where every Clash competition, there was a trophy. Even sound clashes that I believe didn't deserve a trophy, there was a trophy. And the trophy, the frequency of these trophies being awarded to sound systems in, I don't even want to call them preliminary matches, because some of these matches was way under preliminary, right? I believe that, that could have, played a role in the diminishing of killing Sound Clash. I don't know if that makes sense, though, the diminishing of killing Sound Clash. I think that could have played a role in the diminishing respect for earning a trophy or being awarded a trophy. And I think that it could have played a role in the killing of Sound Clash Culture. However, unless I can, someone else can correct me and someone can correct me with facts, I don't know if I should bear that blame. Because it worked for me. It worked in my league. And my league would have been the most organized and respected league during that era of Sound Clash. There's so many sound systems that are probably watching this now that's saying to themselves, yep, I got an Irish and Chin plaque. Yep, I got a second place trophy from Irish and Chin. Yep, I got a championship trophy from Irish and Chin. I've even heard the elite selectors arguing at a dance live. I don't remember what dance it was. And one of the top selectors say, yo, if you don't have an Irish and Chin trophy, then you don't have nothing. So trophies were a big part of what I did or what we did when it came to our league. But we did not encourage or, talk anybody into creating, other trophies for their things. That was done on their own. And I think the industry, what I think? Honestly, a lot of the promoters are not creative. Let's be honest. A lot of the promoters are not creative, and a lot of them are not even Sound Clash promoters, because there's a difference between, and I think I can talk about this in an episode in the future, there's a difference between being a promoter and being a Sound Clash promoter. And that big difference is the Sound Clash promoter is obligated, or should be obligated, to operate with the best interests of Sound Clash Culture moving forward. That means whatever him or her does should not only benefit their pockets or their event, but it should equally benefit the industry. That should be the obligation of a Sound Clash promoter. A promoter? Well, there's only one obligation for them, just to, keep an event and make some money.
Yo, what's good? You ain't get that Soundchat merch yet? What you waiting on? You bugging. Go to soundchatradio.com right now and get that merch. Get yourself right.
I think a lot of over the years, a lot of these promoters were just promoters. They weren't really Sound Clash promoters. So a lot of the decisions that were made wasn't really made for the benefit of the arena moving forward, and maybe I was too much of a forward thinker. You know what I mean? And if I was spending the type of money that was being spent to prepare dubs and the time that was being spent for preparation to compete in Sound Clashes and so forth, I would want to know that I entered a league where if I reach certain levels in the league, I can be acknowledged with some type of award. And that's exactly what we were doing. And I'm going to be honest with you. When the sound systems made it to the Road to World Clash, so we're talking about the preliminary, because World Clash would be the international event, right? So we're talking about national events, right? Canada, US, wherever else the Rumbles were held. You want to know, and you should want to have something that says maybe you didn't win the international event, but you are the national champion. So why would we not have a US Rumble trophy or a Canada Rumble trophy or a, I don't know, whatever. You know what I mean? I think that these trophies are supposed to signify your accomplishments as you move towards you becoming a brand and becoming internationally known as a sound team. So they are important. Well, in the league that I created, they have some importance. I can't speak about what was happening outside. And I also believe that maybe if it was set up in a way that even though another league or another promoter tried to do the same thing and mimic, I think if they did it more in a professional manner and connected the dots, then we wouldn't be really talking about how trophies messed up dancehall or messed up Sound Clash, right? So I don't know if I want to say, well, I'm definitely not going to say that my trophies messed up Sound Clash, because a lot of people who competed on the Irish and Chin stage, that's their merit today. That's their merit. That, I competed for the biggest Sound Clash company at that time. Here's my proof. Maybe I didn't win, but this is what I got to show. In 2007, I was the regional champion or the national champion in the Sound Clash arena. The proof is here. I have the cup to show. That's your legacy. Our cups are your legacy for those who won them. Our plaques are your legacy. We even gave out, there's this famous picture that I have with Black Scorpio, Radigan, Downbeat, and King Jammy, right? Where we brought them onto the stage and we acknowledged them and we gave them plaques and it came over well. I think it was even in the papers in Jamaica, right? Again, signifying your legacy. So I don't think cups are a bad thing. I think the way people started to award cups became a bad thing. And giving cups in scrimmages, then that's not a good thing. Bear in mind that, we never kept scrimmages. We always kept titled events. The smallest event that we would have had as far as our magnitude of contenders would have been the Rumble Series. And the Rumble Series is not a scrimmage because the people who are competing in the Rumble Series is competing for a place in or on the world class stage. So it's the national championships. And I want you guys to understand, before I go, and again, some of you are going to disagree and some of you are going to agree. This is not my way of trying to take blame away from me. This is just me putting facts on the table, telling you what my initial intentions were, and letting you know that factually, I don't think that, you're going to say that, boy, but Chin, you guys were the leading company, and being the leading company, everybody did what you guys did, but we can't be blamed for what everybody else did. We can't. Cups were introduced, trophies were introduced under my umbrella to gauge your level of success in the Sound Clash arena. I guarantee you, somebody who calls himself the 9-star general, Pink Panther, is not going to tell you that trophies and cups were a bad thing. Under our legacy, somebody like Ricky Trooper, who has the first World Clash Cup ever awarded. The last time I seen it a couple of years ago at his house, it was rusted. You know what I mean? But it's something that he cherishes, because it's the first ever cup awarded. He's not going to tell you that it's a bad thing. Tony Mataran, who one time, I believe he won World Clash back to back to back. I believe it was 3 times he won. He's not going to tell you that the trophies were a bad thing. Mighty Crown, who has won numerous trophies as well, cups as well, they're not going to tell you it was a bad thing. Who else do you want me to name? 718-554-8598 is that number in studio. Call me on a Thursday night and talk to me about it. Yeah, I'm welcoming you to do that. Call me on a Thursday night and talk to me about it, right? But I just don't get it where you have persons, and again, I'm not going to be free from all blame. It's impossible to be. And it's impossible to sit in the seat that I've sat in for 2 decades. So you're going to get some type of mud on your shoes in my seat. But one thing that I will always argue, anything that I've initiated in Sound Clash Arena, in the Sound Clash Arena, was an idea that I had that I thought would be beneficial, that might have not worked out as beneficial as I visioned it. In other words, I've never done anything to intentionally hurt the arena, so I could run away with the bag. Never. Everything that was done in a manner to further, structure this thing where sometime down the road it can be presented as an organized sport. And, traditionally we love it because I love the era before World Clash. I love it. I love the wars that took place before World Clash, right? Those were some of that's what inspired me to become a Sound Clash promoter. But there was a level of chaos. And during that decade or that era, when that chaos existed, it was great for that time. But at the same time, we got to admit to ourselves that that era was short-lived. Why was it short-lived? It wasn't short-lived because Chin killed it. It was short-lived because it just started to fade for various different situations. So when we came in to start the World Clash and the Irish and Chin legacy, why would we mimic an era that faded very quickly? Why would we not make the changes that needed to be made? Why would we not try to structure things a little bit differently to make it more exciting and more rewarding? Because that's what the trophies are, rewarding. That's what the plaques are, rewarding. Why would we not try to do that? So for the generation that comes after World Clash, which I thought there would be one coming in, and by now, I thought there would be, a super improved Chin or Irish and Chin, another company that could say, all right, Irish and Chin, uno do fee on a time. Let me take it from Mona and take it this far. And I would embrace that, by the way, because my thing is that when your time is done, it's done. And one of the things that we don't know, or we should know, or some of us know and we ignore, is the fact that we don't want to leave when it's our time. We don't want to. So that's for a whole nother conversation in another episode. But, I would have been willing to welcome another structured company, another younger brain than Chins, to come in and say, yo, I said we are bring the thing, and take it to another level. But my ambitions were for them to inherit something that was structured and free of chaos. And again, those of you who are sitting, and watching me now, listening to this, and say that I'm talking shit, and Sound Clash was never supposed to be organized, and Sound Clash was never supposed to be chaotic. It was always supposed to be chaotic. Let me ask you this again. Why did that era only last for less than a decade? It didn't even last for a decade. I'm just rounding it off to a decade. No one killed it. It just basically ran out of steam. Why? If this is the way that Sound Clashes should have, stayed from the, 1989 or 1990 till the present time, why did it run out of steam? The stages that we added, the lights that we added, the trophies that we added, the plaques that we added, the rules that we added, the excitement that we added, gave it another 25 years of life. You know what the problem with Sound Clash is right now? And I can tell you, but you're not going to like it. The industry needs another Irish and Chin. That's what it needs. The industry needs younger minds with the ambition of moving the culture forward. Younger minds that can understand what is needed to preserve the sport and bring it for another decade or 2 decades. That's what it needs. It's quite possible that, and you know what? I'll say it. It is quite possible that my format has burnt itself out. It's quite possible that, the microwave clashing, as you guys called it, which I also want to talk about in another episode. What is the reason for microwave clashing? Did it really kill the industry or did it not? But maybe my format has made it to the end. And maybe Sound Clash is dying or Sound Clash is dead because my format that has lasted 25 years has now started touching E, meaning that the gas are running low upon it. Is that my fault? Is that your fault? I don't know who's to be blamed by that. When the gas was running low in 97, Irish and Chin came and filled up the tank. And we kept that tank full for many, many years. It's possible that it's time for somebody else to do the same thing. Step in with younger ideas. So, episode 3, did trophies kill Sound Clash Arena? Possibly, but I can't take the blame for that. And even though you guys are going to say that I influenced bringing trophies into Sound Clash, I influenced bringing trophies into my league to work for my establishment. And it did work for my establishment. Such as some of the other things that we introduced in our league. We never once said, this is the way Sound Clash is supposed to go outside of our league. Never. In fact, I welcomed the other clashes that happened outside of the Sound Clash arena, outside of the World Clash arena or the Irish and Chin arena. And you know why? Because promoters were doing a job that we didn't have to do. They were keeping some clashes that we could now pick some contenders from without us putting out that money. So don't get it twisted. I've never had anything against promoters keeping clashes. Never. But again, promoters came in, they felt like, yo, since Chin them can't give a trophy, we no can't give a trophy too. Chin them are going like for them trophy mean more than anybody else trophy. So all of these other clashes started to come up with trophies. And it's cool if they were able to organize and put some type of worth to the trophies that they were giving out. So in closing, let me say this. What killed Sound Clash Arena is worthless trophies. Worthless awards that had no merit or no use. That's what killed Sound Clash. Not trophies. Worthless trophies. Sound systems should be awarded for their accomplishments. Hands down. It's your legacy. After spending all this damn money on dubs and, preparing and doing all of this stuff that you need to do, why not be able to have a dresser or a cabinet in your living room, 10 years after you retire, 20 years to look back on and say, I did that. I was part of that movement. It's the evidence. We never had that before. And that's why a lot of these old timers that used to play Sound Clash, they're so bitter now. There's nothing to document what they accomplished more than word of mouth or old time audio, which some people just don't care about anymore. What killed Sound Clash was unworthy awarding of trophies. Preliminary clashes, scrimmage clashes that were not trophy worthy, but the promoter wanted to, put a trophy in the midst because it was good on the flyer and they felt like it would sell their competition. That killed Sound Clash. Or helped to kill Sound Clash, because it's not a single thing that kills Sound Clash. Worthless trophies with no value. So a lot of these guys that you see making these videos with all of these trophies, and the trophies don't come from and again, I know what you're saying. So Chin, you're saying that only your trophies count? And I'm not saying that. So let me address that before I go too. I'm not saying that only my trophies count. I'm saying that the trophies that should count should be from award-worthy competitions with award-worthy contenders on an award-worthy platform. That's when we bring in the trophies. But if you're giving out cups just to be giving them out, might as well drink out of them. They're not of use. And then you get these sound systems that win, a dozen or 2 dozen of these worthless trophies, and it goes to their head. And their egos start to get bigger because they feel like they have a table or a cabinet or a dresser full of trophies. And you can't tell them that it's not value trophies because they convince themselves that it's value trophies. You can't win a trophy with 100 people in a clash. It's a whole nother conversation. But you can't. You can't win a trophy with 50 people in a clash. You can't. Awarding a trophy with 50 or 100 people in a clash should make that trophy null and void. But promoters still did it. Episode 3. Did trophies help to kill Sound Clash culture? Leave your comments, please. Hit that notification. And people, I read all the comments. I read the ones that's good, bad, and in between. And when I say good, bad, and in between, those of you agreeing with me, that's good. Those of you who cuss me out is bad. And in between where, you might agree with me on some points, but you don't agree with me on other points, blah, 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 whatever. I'm reading them because I love to have Sound Clash conversation. I want to get to the root of where we went wrong. And I'm willing to take any blame that falls on me. And there has to be some blame somewhere that falls on me, but there's nobody in my position that could have sat in my seat for 20 years or 25 years and didn't make some type of error. And it's not about the errors that you make, and I don't think I got a lot, to be honest with you. But I know that I made errors, in different places. But I also know that a lot of you guys blame me for your own misfault, your own, shortcomings, right? Some of you guys blame me because you're a sound man that just didn't make it on the world class stage. And you just didn't get popularity, so chin up sword. I know that, right? Some of you are promoters that your dance never does big as ours, so me a sword. I know all of that. But when we clear the clouds and clear the air, let's have some great reasoning and put the facts on the table and leave everything else off the table. I'll get episode 4 up really soon, so make sure you guys keep it locked. Hit the notification and also leave your comments. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for watching another episode of Sound Chat Radio on Irish and Chin's YouTube channel. If you like what you saw, please subscribe by hitting the red button. If the button is still red, that means you did not subscribe. Also, like and share. And don't forget to leave a comment. In fact, press that notification button while you're at it.